Alright, so here comes the part 2 video on car bodies. This one is about the 1991 modified division rulebook that I got. It is nice to have both, so you could compare one to another. Anyway, let me go to the section. Let me mention briefly that in this rulebook we have a few different divisions, and I will start with the modified division, which is like the main one. And if I find any difference in other divisions onto how they mount the body to the frame, or any other body dimensions that they mention that are different between these series, I'll cover them specifically, like differences between all of these, the Grand American stock, the late model stock that you might want to check out. Anyway, let me open up the section 20G. That means it's for the modified division. There it is. And here we have a quite of a section to cover. It's pretty hefty. Anyway, what they're talking about here, it must be neat appearing. They're talking about the floors. They talk a lot about the firewalls, how the firewall should be, that it should stretch from side to side, and blah blah blah. Anyway, a lot of stuff about the firewall and driver protection. For NASCAR 2003 game, obviously we don't need any of that information. And there he goes, found it. All bodies must be installed on frame in a manner acceptable to NASCAR officials. Maximum distance of 42 inches measured from the center of the rear axle. Once again, the center of the rear axle seems to be like an important location for these guys. To the rear of the body is permitted. That's an easy one. Pretty much what they talk about is the rear axle right here, and this is the end of the body. 42 inches. Right here in this modified series is 45. In 1991 it was 42 inches. Between here and here. Let me do it in a different color. And that didn't work. There it goes. This distance right here. So in 2003 NASCAR Cup season, they are talking about the distance between center of the roof and the window. Should be like right there. And the center of the rear axle. This distance. In the 1991 model, modified division series, this is how they want you to mount the frame to the body. They want you to have 42 inches between the center of the rear axle, which would probably be somewhere here, to the end of the body. Mr. Underground Physics, this one is for you. 66 inches from door to door. And that's the width of the car. That's the theory on field 06 in the chassis editor. What else can I find in the bodies? Okay, there you go. They talk about the rake and the slant of the doors, like how slanted both of the doors could be, or if you want to run them horizontally. That's not as important. Anyway, another one, the maximum, let me see it right there, the maximum height at the rear edge at the quarter panel cannot be over 35 inches off the ground. Also, the rear wheels must not extend lower than 8 inches from the ground. Anyway, read these two and what they're talking about. Let me zoom in. The rear edge of the quarter panel is this guy. So they're talking about the height of the quarter panel, and that has to do a lot with the aerodynamics of how the air is passing through the car. Has to do a lot with that, because the quarter panels are also an important aerodynamic feature of how the air will be going out. What else? Then the second distance of 8 inches, they're talking about that the rear edge of the quarter panel right here behind the wheel should be not more than 8 inches. Right here. I don't know how much of that we could transfer into NASCAR 2003 measurements and hunting down for those unknown values, but those of you who like modified division series might actually find this information somewhat useful. Anyway, they're talking about the height right here and the height right there. Right here is 31. In 1991 division, I wanted that to be 35 inches instead of 31, so a little bit different dimensions. between this TAR race car bodies and the 1991 modified, but you could see the generic similarities. Anyway, I'm gonna stop it right here. This was the part 2 to kind of go together with the 2003 rulebook. And what else can I say? I'm gonna try to upload some testing on field 6 and 7 in the chassis, see where that go, and stay tuned for the 4-cylinder mod. That one is in development as well. Okay, I'll see you guys later.